Ready for round 2 with Brock Beesecker? You think so, do you? You might want to reconsider. Too late. You're already in the ring. What a response from part 1 of Brock's episode. Never before did we have such an outpouring of support for a guest. And that's how it's done, people. That's what it looks like when you get it right. In part 2, we'll show you that Brock is way more than that Mexican tuner kid label that he's been given by a certain someone in the community. Fog's that. Even though Brock looks up to Batman, Batman isn't real. This kid once reset his own broken nose, and another time he continued to spar 7 rounds with a broken orbital bone. Yeah, he is him. But he will be the first to tell you that his mom is the toughest person he knows. Aww. And when it comes to advice for kids and social media, Brock says, don't compare yourself, inspire yourself. Wow, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Here's your host, Bubba Seaman.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What is up? We are back. Part 2 with Brock Beesecker. If you missed part 1, stop what you're doing right now. Go back and listen to part 1. That was probably one of the deepest episodes we've ever done. Brock was pretty vulnerable and shared a lot about his upbringing, a lot of the stuff everyone around town was talking about. He cleared up some of that. And if you need to know more, he's willing to talk personally about it. We didn't need to air everything out on the internet, so... but it was a great episode. If you know anybody struggling with, dysfunctional family at home or violence or drug or alcohol abuse, he definitely can speak to some of that stuff in a powerful way. So go back and listen to part 1 if you haven't already. Other than that, you're going to hear the same stuff from me. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe before we get into all the good content we got for you. You got to make sure you're supporting us in that way. You've got to follow, you've got to like, you've got to subscribe. We're also on social media on Facebook and Instagram. You got to follow that stuff. We do giveaways all the time. We've actually doing town parades now. If you want one of these sweet cups we got right here, Brock's going to leave today with one of those things, and he didn't even have to catch it in the parade like the rest of you did. But he also gets a t-shirt. That's right. If you come on the podcast, you get one of those t-shirts for free as just a way of saying thank you and to help us spread the word, because we're trying to do something here. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm not trying to get famous. I'm not trying to get clicks. I'm trying to help people, encourage people, seek truth, encouragement, all that good stuff. That's just the way it is. So we're going to get into this. Part 2, we couldn't quite wrap up because we got so deep in part 1 with Brock's story that I wanted him to kind of finish that out, and we just left it right there at the end of his family life and all that stuff. We didn't even get to talk about what he's probably most passionate about today.
Oh, for sure.
So we're going to let him get into that, say how he got into kickboxing and all that. Some people are wrong and they say, oh, he's doing MMA, he's doing this, he's doing that, or he's just a meathead. And I was like, no, we're going to clear all that up. We're going to let the man talk today about his new hobby. So why don't you just jump right in, man? Tell us all about it.
So after the incident between me and my father, that's kind of how all this started. I was like, man, I got knockout power. Like, I always wanted to box. I used to tell people that I always wanted to box, but there really wasn't a ton of boxing gyms around here. So my buddy in college, actually, he did jiu-jitsu in Waterloo at the Rock.
Okay.
But I'd already wrestled, so I was like, he's like, let me try kickboxing. So I went to a class just to see how it was. I instantly loved it. And then I think I had 2 months of training. One of the pros I was working with, Mike Plazzola, shout out. Dude hits like a freight train. Broke my nose, but
I think I got that in my notes,
yeah,
don't it?
Well, and honestly, that was kind of my fault. I kept asking to spar with him, and we were sparring pretty hard. But I mean, that's fighting.
Hey, you poked the bear.
Yeah,
that's
no. I mean, he's a good. I love him. Like, he's a good fighter, man. He's trained with some of the best in the game. So he was the one that talked me into actually fighting. I only had maybe 2 months of going to like training before I took my first fight, and then I won that by KO, and then kind of went on a tear there for a little bit. I think I ended the next however many fights by KO or TKO. I fought down at a world tournament. the way they do that tournament is it's basically luck of the draw. Whoever you get, that's who you fight. Well, I had a pretty good chance at winning it, like from what I saw. Well, I drew probably the other toughest dude in the entire.
Of course.
Yeah, I was like, that's my. I have never had
for
good
your
luck.
For the first round.
I think it was a good fight too. I won the first round. The second one was super close. He definitely won the third round. I ended up losing that fight by split decision, and that sucked. I actually still talk to the guy. The guy's super jacked black dude from Chicago, but he's like, yeah, I cut down from like 190, 197 to make weight. I'm like, yeah, I can tell, dude, you're huge. But no, super cool dude. Like, me and him still talk. I was actually planning on going over to Chicago to train with him a bit because he's a way good dude. But anyway, came up short there, which, I mean, that sucked, but I was proud of myself because, like, everyone was looking at me like, this dude looks legit. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he was ripped.
You showed me the pictures or whatever, and we'll try and include him in on the video here.
Yeah.
But that was early on. You're stepping your game up early on. How did your first fight go?
Oh,
like April 2022.
Yeah. So that guy, and funny story about that guy after I explain this, but I was still like, I knocked the guy out in the second round. Mm-hmm. The guy really didn't have much for me. He definitely was heavier than me. He had a good amount of weight on me, but I mean, skill wise, like I was foot on the gas and ended up knocking him out.
So after that first fight, that's when I started seeing stuff on social media. That's when I was like, okay, there's the Beesecker kid. I swear that's just how I referred to you, how everyone did.
Yeah.
And started seeing pictures and things like, oh, he got into. How fitting, because everyone knew you were pretty athletic. You know, you got a lot of that fast twitch muscle fiber. Like, obviously, kickboxing would be right up your alley. So you said, dude, you got a lot of support from friends and family when you first got into it.
Oh, dude, that first fight, like, I was just ready to go. There were so many people there. If you heard the crowd, it was so loud. Like, they were just like,
yeah.
And it's like, as soon as I heard, dude, instantly addicted. Like,
yep.
Oh my god, dude! It was the best feeling I've ever felt in my entire life.
So you knocked that guy out first fight, KO round 2.
Yes.
And you said that's when you're sparring with your training partner.
Yes. So Mike Plazola, and he's a professional. I'm still an amateur, but I mean, he's got some real knockout power. Like, if you look him up, he's got some pretty good highlight reel KOs, like stone cold knocking dudes out.
Mm-hmm.
He's trained with like Dwayne Ludwig, who like I don't know, average people probably don't know who that is, but
Dwayne Bang Ludwig.
Yes.
So I remember.
Like, trained with them. He's trained with Rumble Johnson, Michael Chandler, like big names.
Yeah, if you don't know those names.
Yeah, like Michael Johnson, who knocked out Dustin Poirier.
Dang.
Anyway, like, he's trained with, I mean, he's an elite level dude.
I consider that an honor to have your nose broken by a guy.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, dude, we would bang pretty hard, and that was like early in my career. But I mean.
But you said you reset your nose.
Yeah, so I broke it.
Or he reset it, whatever.
No, you
did.
Yeah. So we were sparring or whatever, broke it, kept going, and then I'm like, dude, I started bleeding everywhere, so I'm like, I better stop. Like, so I didn't want to bleed over the gym. And I'm like, I think you broke my nose, and he's like, oh, look at me. He's like, nah, it's straight. And I'm like, I don't know. I could see it out of the corner of my eye. I was like, So I went in the bathroom because I was just trying to clean myself up a little bit, and it was on the other side of my face. I was like, man.
Oh, you're good, man.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this thing is broke. So I just reset it in the bathroom by myself. And you could hear it crunch on the way back.
Oh, my gosh. Making me sick.
And, I just kind of went about my business. But that was, and then maybe not even a month later. I can't remember what. Yeah, not even a month later. So I had another fight. So I fought with a broken nose. Against a guy who had, everyone at that time had way more experience than me. And
sure.
Fought that guy, knocked him out in the second round as well. And then, I've just been fighting ever since.
Right. So when did the belt talk started coming?
So that was actually that was the thing. Like, at my first fight, I obviously, since it's my first fight, I wasn't on the main, or I wasn't like the main event. One of the guys that fought was fighting for a belt. And then the guy from our gym ended up losing. So I'm like, I want to fight the guy who beat our guy.
Yes.
I'm like, I want to fight the guy with the belt. And then I
Okay.
ended up fighting him and knocked him out. I was like, nice. There was some weird stuff going on with that, too. Like, there was some beef between those two guys. Like, they were just talking to each other, and I'm not a big talker, but, like, when I beat him, like, the guy, he's like, man, I threw the kitchen sink at you, and you weren't even fazed, But, I mean, I really liked the guy. The guy was super respectful, like, none of that BS stuff. Like,
Yeah,
you know. But, yeah, that's how that went. And then kind of from then on, like, I fought another guy for a 185-pound belt, and I didn't even weigh 180. I was just like, I'll take on all comers. But, see, I think it was considered a TKO because he quit on the stool.
Oh, okay.
It was supposed to be a 5-round fight, and then after the third, he's like, I'm done. Like, I can't. And he was pretty scrambled. I don't know if he called it or his corner, but, like, he tried talking to me after, and I'm like,
wasn't coherent?
Not very. Like, I couldn't really understand what he was saying. He was just like, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was very mumbly, and I'm like, okay, you just need to chill. And then he ended up messaging me. He's like, oh, I want a rematch in MMA. And I'm like, dude, you put me in little gloves, you're going to have an even worse day.
You're not going to get a word out.
No,
afterwards.
yeah, you're going to be in rough shape. But,
oh, man. Okay, so then Worlds. Then we get to Worlds.
So then I was like, okay, fought at Worlds, and then had a pretty close fight with that guy. I think part of, like, preparation-wise, so that we went into that tournament, which is a Muay Thai tournament, which is a little different than kickboxing. There's a little more clinch than, like, just straight-up striking. So you can clinch, and you can elbow, and you can knee. In kickboxing, you can't elbow, and I think you can knee, but you can't throw, like, consecutive knees. So that was a little different. The knees really weren't a huge issue. The clinch is actually where, like, the guy really only had any success with me. That's kind of why but we didn't train enough clinch.
Yeah.
I mean, we trained like it was just regular kickboxing. So that was definitely not a reality check, but, like, there's more to the fight game than just obviously striking. Like, the clinch work was definitely, everyone that went down and fought from our gym, we needed to work on clinch for sure.
Okay. So then
I kind of got away from just kickboxing, went into Muay Thai.
Okay.
So I kind of, been fighting Muay Thai, which, basically the same thing other than the elbows and knees. But, yeah, I mean, fought down there, took the L. I knew I lost, and, like, it was a close fight. Like, I wasn't really that down on myself because I'm like, man, this guy's good. This guy's, and I had a very competitive fight with him. Like, it could have gone either way. So I wasn't too down about it. I'm like, man, like, obviously it sucks to lose, but I wasn't that down.
No, I get it.
So then fought maybe a month or so later after Worlds, fought this one guy who, I mean, the guy, they didn't tell me this till after I fought him, but he had like 30 or 40 fights, and I'm like, what? Way more than me. Yeah. But they wanted me to fight him, and he had already fought one of my coaches and knocked my coach out. And I'm like, yeah, I'll fight him. So I fought him. We had a pretty good fight. I think I won the earlier rounds, but this isn't an excuse, but, like, I got, like, sick before the fight. Like, I was throwing up, like food poisoning wise, like the day or two before. So, like, I couldn't keep any of my food down. I don't know what it was, but, like, I was just, like, super sick. Like, I think when I weighed in, I was, like, a few pounds under. Like, I mean, I just couldn't keep anything down. I felt like I think that definitely played a role in it. But this guy's a freak athlete too. Like, yeah. Obviously, just with the experience, that always helps. But he had a good reach. He had good boxing. I didn't think his power was anything crazy. Like, I mean, like I said, you're gonna have to either knock me out or kill me to stop me. But man, he just had such a reach advantage. That was something new. Like, everyone else always had pretty similar reach, so I could work with it. He had super long arms, I thought, but it wasn't his power. It was his volume that I was struggling with. He just threw so many punches, and then, like, in the late, because it was a 5-rounder, and, like, in the first, second, and third round, I was all right. I think I won the first two, but, like, man, his volume really, really, I wouldn't say shut me down, but, man, he was putting the work in. Yeah. In the later rounds, his cardio was nuts, and obviously me being sick, like, it just didn't translate very well to putting on a good performance. But I mean, either way, he won. Super cool dude though. Like, we talked afterwards, like, no animosity towards really any of these guys other than maybe one or two of them, because they're talking smack, like, after I beat him or whatever. But I was just like, you guys are like I just had literally yesterday, the day before, I had a guy that I fought message me. He's like, I want my rematch. Like, you got lucky. And I'm like, I started talking crap to me. And I'm like, dude, I knocked you out, man. Like, I mean, I'd gladly rematch you. I don't, from the bottom of my heart, I truly am not scared of anyone. Like, what, especially this guy. I'm like, I've already beat you. But I was like, I'm game. Like, you want to, I'm like, give it time. He's like, I don't got time. I'm going to go pro. And I'm like, whatever you say. So
go pro then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
you're that good.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. The whole respect thing is huge, like, especially in Muay Thai. That's what I really like. The MMA scene's kind of weird. Like, there's a lot of talk. That's not me. That's not really what I'm about. But it definitely, when there's animosity, you got to kind of separate yourself from, I mean, it's a fight. You're not fighting the person per se. You're fighting the style is the way I like to think about it. So, I mean, you kind of got to separate yourself from how you feel about the person and then just go ahead and just fight the style of how the fighter is, not who they are.
So at that point, you say then you had lost 2 in a row, and it kind of got you down a little bit.
Yeah, dude, man, I was struggling there. Like, and even, I don't know, even after that second loss, I was like, man, I was really down there for a bit. Like, there was just a lot going on with life, and then obviously, like, sitting on a loss sucks, man. Like, I mean, you go out and lose, and like I said, it was a good fight, but I mean, the guy, I think definitely say that guy won. And I mean, I was struggling. Like, I had to go see people to talk to, because I'm like, I had so much going on, like, just in my head, like with family, like, all that stuff was kind of coming back, and like obviously sitting on a loss, that sucks. Like, especially when this is like what I want to do. So it's like, man, you feel deflated, and it sucks. Like, it's hard to put into words sometimes, because it's like people struggle with like their own battles inside their head, and that's kind of what I was doing. Like, and I just felt like I didn't have anyone to kind of express that to, like, because like my dad's really not in the picture, so it's like it was hard to find someone to talk to, and like I think part of it too was like coming into winter. So, like, you get that, like, seasonal, like, you're just down, like, it's always dark out, and, like, I think that probably had something to do with it, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like the fact that you told me, like, I talked to some people.
Yeah, I had to go,
right mentally.
I had to get,
I like that.
That's what I mean, like, I had to go seek help a little bit, because I know people try to, tough it out. Like, sometimes you just got to go see people, like, I went and talked to whoever about it, and I'm just like, I didn't really know how to feel about it, or I didn't really know, like, because I felt like I didn't have anyone to, like, express myself.
Yeah.
Not express myself. I don't know. I was just in a bad spot, and it's like sometimes you just got to go seek help and be good to yourself.
And I think now that's a way more accepted.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially even on the athletic side of things. I think they call them life coaches or whatever. Yeah. But athletes.
Well, therapy in general, like, don't be embarrassed about going to see somebody to talk to, because it's
absolutely not. Don't be embarrassed.
Like, you never know who's going through what, or obviously, like, in my situation, like, you experience so much emotion with fighting, and sometimes you just get wrapped up in everything going on, and it's hard to like, talk to yourself in a good way, because it's like, man, I just lost, like, it just sucks, and sometimes you just got to separate, what fighting from, like, real life. It's like, I mean, you took a lot, but it's like, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
And, like, it wasn't even that, too. It's just, like, my family stuff. It's like, man, like, I was thinking about how messed up our childhood really was. And, like, that was kind of getting to me. And, and like I said, I think winter had something to do with it, too. Sure. Like, just being dark, the seasonal, whatever.
Yeah. But that motivated you. You said, going into your next fight then, when that came around February of 24, man, you said this was your moment. You were in the zone. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, I was dialed in from the get-go. Like, as soon as the fight got announced, like, I mean, I probably did, like, 7 weeks of dieting. Like, I ate as clean as I possibly could. Like, I ordered factor meals. Like, I don't know if you know what those are.
Yeah,
but,
I know what factor meals are.
Did those. Like, I ate as clean as I possibly could. Like, I was training all the time.
No booze.
No, yeah. I honestly rarely, I mean, I'm legal, but I barely drink.
Right, we hit on that. That just wasn't your scene for the most part.
No, I mean, even I'm legal now, but, like, I barely drink regardless. Like, Maybe after a fight or something, like to celebrate, because I'm
Sure.
like, I earned this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was dialed in from the get go. Like I was training every day, whether it be my striking or like just in, lifting and cardio, and then whatever it need be. Like I would watch film on whoever.
Yeah. And you said you would train 4-minute rounds.
Yeah, so
and they're
that
3-minute
was
rounds.
one thing too. Like from my fight before that, we were only doing like a minute 30 rounds, which is not even a full round. So I was like, that I wasn't really happy with that, because like obviously the longer you go, the better your
The more you build up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we were doing double the amount of time for rounds, and we'd do like 10 rounds or however many rounds. So I felt like that helped a ton, and then we actually set rings up to where like you could gauge your distance, because like some people when you spar them, they just back up. Well, in a ring, you can't always do that. Yeah, so.
Mm-hmm. And then you went to Dubuque and trained with a pretty well-known
yes.
guy.
So, we went to DMAG. Me and a couple other guys were going there, but Luke Lessie, he's a 1FC fighter. If you don't know who that, or don't know what 1FC is, it's basically like the UFC of like Muay Thai. Got to train with him and that whole group. Man, every time I left there, I felt like I got better.
Nice.
And I learned, and I was never like, because sometimes I'll leave the gym like where I'm at currently, I'm just like kind of mad. I don't know what it is. Like maybe I didn't feel like I got better or whatever. Every time I left there, I felt like I got better. I never left disappointed.
Yeah.
And like even, I mean, he's a high, like the highest of the high of like being a professional fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And they are so down to earth. Like he's joking around with me. Like, and man, can he crack, dude. Like I know he's skinny or whatever, but yeah, and he's been doing it since he could walk, but God, can he crack. I love going over there. I haven't been over there in a while now, just because it is a drive. Like,
Yeah.
but man, I had such a good time, and it's super old school. Like they got a ring in the gym. It feels more like an old school boxing gym than like I'm at the Rock right now, and the Rock's more of like a commercial gym. I feel like, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like as old school as like
the Rocky movies.
Yes,
Kinda.
I mean that's
Yeah, I know
that's
what
what
you
I mean. But
Sure.
I mean,
Well, how did all that extra, how did all that pay off? How did that fight go?
I think well, going back to like even just training, like I couldn't use my elbows in sparring very much. And my coach would get on me like, "Hey, you got to use your elbows." I'm like, "Well, I'm sparring with dudes who have longer reach, so it's like it's harder to use your elbows against a guy who can elbow you before you can." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, whatever." I would train like a lot of my spinning elbow stuff. I never even threw until that fight. Like I just threw it in my garage. Like I would just work on. I got a bag at home, and I would just work on like the setups for it. So when I got in there, man, I just let that guy have it. He had. I mean, I hit him with more elbows than the rest of the card combined. Like I didn't.
Oh wow.
He was a tough dude, but I mean, he ate some pretty big shots. Like the spinning elbow stuff. I remember like landing a nice spinning elbow on his chin in the corner, and I could see his eyes kind of roll. And then the bell sounded or whatever. I'm like, dang it! But tough dude nonetheless. Nothing but respect for that guy. But I mean, just learning like setups. I learned a lot of setups when I went to DMAG. That Dubuque, they have their striking is definitely on another level.
Sure.
Like there's just levels to it. They do a lot of setup stuff where it's like you set a pattern, and then you break the pattern. And even like the most basic one, and then I landed it in the fight, is just like a jab or like a left hook, low kick. I probably did that 2 or 3 times to set up my high kick. Threw the left hook or the jab, and then I threw a high kick. He thought I was going low, kicked him in the head, and scored a knockdown. Or either in the head and then like knocked him back, and then threw a knee to either his body, or threw a knee to him and scored a knockdown off that. But just like stuff like that, there's so many levels to it, and I have nothing but great memories going over there. Like I I'd love to go back, but it is a drive, so.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so driving over there, eating clean, training, like you're dialed in, as focused as you, how does the actual fight go down?
Oh,
because you were sitting on the 2 L's, right?
Yes, I won that fight by decision. I think I won every round. I maybe lost one.
That had to feel good.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, it was nice to get back in the win column because sitting on an L, not fun. And I don't like to lose, obviously, especially in fighting. Man, it felt good to get back in the win column. Won a belt for that one.
Nice.
And it was nice to use my elbows. Like that guy took a beating, man. And like I said, it was just good to know all my hard work paid off.
Yeah.
It's like I was doing everything I could to be the best fighter I could be. Like, because I know how good I am and how good I could be. And it was good to show everyone, like, I'm him. Like, I'm that guy. And like I said, it was just good to get back in the win column and celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah, you got quite the following around here, that's for sure.
It is pretty cool. Like I have so many people come up to me and I have no idea who they are. Like, oh, I love you, man. I love watching you fight. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate the support. Like I even had Tori Martin. I saw him at Fairbank Days, but his kid was at Casey's or something trying to pay for something. He's like paying in like quarters, or I'm like, I just said, don't worry about it. I paid for Ty Martin's whatever. I don't even remember what he got, but I paid for that, and I'm like, don't even worry about it. And then come full circle, Tori came and talked to me at Fairbank Days. He's like, that's so cool. He really looks up to you, and he wants to do the MMA thing, and after wrestling, obviously. And I was like, that's great, but I was like, just remember, I was like, everyone likes the idea of being a fighter, but not everyone, like the reality of it is like, you're going to be hurt a lot. You're going to be, look, I've broken my nose twice. I just, fractured my orbital bone. I mean, it's not as glamorous as everyone makes it out to be.
Right.
Like the reality of it is like, it's a lot of hard work, and not that, obviously Ty's a phenomenal wrestler, but even going back to Tori, when I was younger, like when I first started wrestling, Tori was one of my first coaches, and he was like my favorite. And like, I just look back at like stuff like that where it's like crazy to see how like come full circle. Like now I'm, pursuing whatever, but Tori was definitely one of my favorite coaches when I was little, and I was not good at wrestling when I first started. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so we'll give one quick update. We won't spend much time on this because we want to get into your segments. But for everyone who's following Brock and his new hobby here, his new career, what's up with the injury? So
I was sparring another gym, a group of pros or whatever, and then I got kneed in the eye. Usually don't knee in the eye or knee to the face in sparring. I don't know. I don't really think it was intentional, but stuff happens. I'm not. Obviously I'm not happy about it, but that's fighting or sparring or whatever.
And I'm glad you said that, because as soon as I think you said something to Timothy at Casey's or whatever, said, hey, I got more free time on my hands. I'm going to reach out to your dad, see if we can finally get this thing done. And I said, he broke his orbital bone. You got to get hit pretty hard in the square in the face. And I was like, Brock would never stand still long enough for someone to land anything more than a glancing blow. Or unless he dipped right into it, or I was like, I just can't believe it.
That was the weird part. It wasn't even like the thing that actually did it. It covered my whole eye and built up so much pressure. It blew out the bottom. So it's like where my eye rests on. It's not actually like
it's not the face.
Not
of the
my
bone.
face. It's under
it.
my eyeball.
Yeah.
So not a good injury, but. Luckily, I don't need surgery, so it's just time off.
But you did have to make a trip to Iowa City.
Yeah, I had to make a trip to Iowa City. They're like, okay, well. Then once I saw the CT, I was like, oh, it was worse than I thought it was, but.
Because you said, Timothy said, you said something about, you could feel your eye moving in and out.
Oh, yeah, so that's when I knew. I'm like, man, because I broke it in the third round of sparring, couldn't see out of it, kept going like an idiot. I did 7 rounds of sparring with it broken. I should have stopped, but
yeah, you probably should have.
And then once I finally could see out of it, everything was double vision. I was like, oh geez, but kind of afterwards, we all shook hands. That's fighting. I'm not obviously it's gonna happen. It's fighting, but
it happens.
And then 2 days later, this happened on Friday, and then that Sunday, I was like, man, something don't seem right. If I would pressurize my sinus, my eyeball would move in and out. So I'm like, I better go get it looked at. And went to Owine, did a CT scan. They're like, yeah, you got a fractured orbital floor. I'm like, oh, okay, well. And then they eventually I got referred down to Iowa City. finally got to look at my CT, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not good. So I'm gonna be out for a little bit, but I'll probably go back to training next week.
Oh,
I
okay.
definitely can't spar for sure.
But you can keep everything else up to
Yeah,
par.
I've been lifting, but I kind of have to be somewhat careful. Like if I'm going super heavy, I could risk blowing my eye out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
Dude, well, when you're my age and you try and get in shape or stay in shape, I have been hurt all summer.
you're just
summer.
sore too. Like, I mean, even I took 2 weeks off of lifting just because I was like, you know what, I don't want to risk blowing my eyeball out.
Yeah.
And I lifted, was it Wednesday? I'm still sore, dude.
Yep. That's what happens when you get out.
2 weeks, and now, I feel like an old man.
That's right. All right. Well, that's the update for everybody. So he's down. He's not out. He'll be right back. Don't
Never
worry
out.
about that. That's right. So, all right. We're going to get into his fun segments. We definitely wanted to get that kickboxing stuff in there because that's what everyone wants to hear about. So, but now you're going to get to know Brock a little bit better. We're going to put him on the spot with some of these segments, and some of the ones he chose. Of course, he chose the Doug Heffernan segment. That's the glory days from high school. You got to pick one moment if you can from high school.
One moment. I don't know about one moment. Like, I know we went to state duels my sophomore year. That was cool. But football. I just miss football a lot, and even the grind of wrestling. Like, I miss that.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the camaraderie you get.
Yeah.
Like that's what I miss about at least high school. When you talk about glory days, I just miss like kind of goofing around with your friends and just the camaraderie that comes with like being in school and around your friends all the time. Where it's like.
There they go. The dogs. We made it through what?
So now it's officially an episode.
That's right. It is. Because, we made it through the whole first part without the dogs.
I know.
But that's all right.
But,
that's real, man. That's good. Because, I try and, when I speak to the younger people, I try and let them know you're never going to have a moment like this again where you're all together. The whole town's behind you. Everyone, even the people who don't know you, they want you to be they want the best for you. Like, enjoy it. Take advantage of it. Work for it. Earn it. All that good stuff. So I like that. You didn't pick a specific moment. I like that, man. You're deeper than people give you credit for.
Did someone call me a meathead? You said someone said I was a meathead.
Well,
Who said
I just
that?
say you're not a meathead.
No, man,
we were talking stereotypes.
Well, that's what we'll get into that a little bit. Someone was joshing on me that I don't read or something. I'm like, dude, I read all the time.
Let's go into it. Movie book review. That's the next segment you picked. You said, I want to show these people I'm a reader.
Dude, I'm deep, bro.
Okay.
just messing around.
But, that's why I got him on, guys, because he's an intellectual.
I am, dude. People don't give me credit. The movie Memento, it's by it's by the same. It was made by the same guy who did the Christian Bale Batman series.
Okay. It sounds super familiar.
Memento. I forget the guy's name, dude. Super good movie. It's with a guy who he has like short-term memory loss, so he can remember everything up until this accident. Well, like he lives every like 15 minutes or so, he'll just forget what he's doing. So, and like the way they chop the movie up, it's almost like you're forgetting what happened. So the movie's like in different orders, so it'll take you in a specific moment in time, and then it'll like kind of place you around in the storyline.
Oh, wow.
And then, like, you'll just have to watch. Like, I highly recommend that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. And you can watch it probably. Like, you almost have to watch it a few times to actually, like, get it. Because you have to piece the story together. It's a very good movie. And then Batman, like the Christian Bale series of Batman, like The Dark Knight. Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Love that.
Those are great.
Batman is my favorite just because, like, I relate to him. But and then Tommy Boy. So you have to do Tommy Boy's so good, dude.
Dude, you would have done
that
great.
one. That one, my dad got me on.
You would have been great in the 90s.
Oh, dude. I wish
dude,
I could.
Nothing like from what I see. The music and stuff I listened to in
the
90s
is coming. It's so good.
So good. It's not dying.
Even I think even Memento is from.
It
the
probably
90s.
is because
I think it's from the late
familiar.
90s.
Man,
such a good movie.
That's it. I guess.
And then book review. So that after like. If you listen to the first story, after the whole stuff went down with me and my dad, my old football coach, Cody Jones, gave me the book Can't Hurt Me. Read that. Phenomenal book by David Goggins. And then the other book, also by David Goggins, is called Never Finished. And that's like, once I started reading more often, I would like write down notes and like just kind of some good takeaways like in each like page or paragraph or whatever.
Yeah.
Been doing that, but I finished that. I kind of had a joke with my sister because I think she actually got it for me for I think our birthday because we're twins. But I started reading it and then I got busy with life and whatever. So I had a joke with her like, oh, that book never finished. I've never finished. So, but I finally finished that like a while ago now. And then I've been reading the 48 Laws of Power by, I believe it's Robert Greene. Super good book. I've been doing the same thing like highlighting and whatever. But
wow,
good book. So
dang. There. So for all you guys out there who think he's just this meathead.
Yeah,
no,
not a meathead.
No. Dude, actually, when you start taking notes and highlighting and writing things down, you're now studying. You're not just reading a book. You
there's
are doing
a lot of good
study.
takeaways in that book.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's keep moving. Shout outs. These are I've added some new segments. You're the first to do a couple of them. And this is just simply shout-outs. Like you just gave a shout-out to Cody Jones, who I have reached out to be on the podcast and haven't heard back yet. So
come on, Cody, get over here.
Come on, man. Guys in law enforcement are different. I've been turned down from a few guys in law enforcement.
Part of it, I mean, I can kind of get that, but...
Yeah, but they need to know. We'll talk about whatever you want to and not whatever you don't. But anyway, okay, so shout-outs is just, you can mention a few people that, hey, you just want to give some credit to, give some thanks to.
Let's see here. Obviously, my mom, like, she...
Absolutely.
The toughest human being I've ever met in my life. I get... Her resilience is what drives me to be resilient. Like, she is so tough. Even,
awesome. Dude,
she is nuts. Shout out to my sister. Shout out my girlfriend.
There we go. Okay.
I know we've had our differences here and there, but she's been my dude. Like, when I mean, like, she's been my rock, like, through my whole eye thing, like, I was freaking out. And she was the only thing that comforted me. Like, even in my last fight, like, you get those pre-fight nerves, and like all I was thinking about was her, dude.
Oh,
so yeah,
there you go.
But and like even through high school, like I mean, we've kind of been on and off here and there, just because of whatever. But like, dude, she has been through the ringer with me. Like, she's been around when a lot of that stuff was going on, and
see, I think that's the key. Most people say that I found to be true. Don't choose the girl that you can see yourself with.
Yeah.
Choose the girl that you can't see yourself without.
Dude, that's a good saying.
That's it.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, dude, she has been, God bless. Like, and obviously, like, we've been split up before.
We all take breaks.
And that's what I mean. Like, but, dude, there's no one else that would put up with me, bro. Trust me.
There you go. All right. And you, in the first part, you definitely gave a big shout out to Bo Sorensen.
Yeah,
you said you were thankful for him.
Bo was my rock. We still talk.
And you said even some elementary teachers from back in the day, Mr. Sinram, and all that.
I want to meet up. I was going to message him on Facebook the other day, but shout out Mr. Sinram.
Well, he should have some time available in the summer, right? He's a principal,
I think
whatever,
so. Yeah, at Denver. Trader. Yeah. But anyway,
yeah, I know, man.
I know.
Let's go.
There's some teachers that we lost to Denver, and I wasn't too upset about.
They poach them, is what they do.
I don't know.
That's what I think.
I mean, I kind of get it. Some stuff at Wapsie that goes down can be a headache, but God bless.
Okay. Anybody else, or we're gonna try another new segment?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Just shout out the rest of my family and like everyone who has supported me, just in life and in fighting. I just really appreciate everyone that's helped me become who I am. So
there you go. Nice. All right. New segment alert right here. This or that. I don't know what made me think of this one day, but I'm just going to give out two options. I think it's always just two options. And he doesn't know what's coming.
Nope, no idea.
He's just going to go off the top of his head. What kind of guy is he? So we're just going to jump right into him, see if we can run through these real fast. Coffee or tea?
Oh, dude, neither.
Tea, he says you're a caffeine guy.
Yeah, like energy drinks or like pre-workout. Dude, coffee, I can't drink.
Not even iced coffee?
No, dude. I don't even think I've ever had. I had coffee one time, hated it. Tea, I'm not a tea guy because I'm a man.
Okay, so I guess the third answer could be neither or both.
Yeah.
So, okay, there we go. Boy, we're great. Okay, so now this is just hot or iced. So if you're drinking anything, do you prefer
iced.
hot? Okay.
Oh, freezing cold.
Okay. Movie or book?
Oh. Now you're going to make me sound like a meathead. Dang it. It depends on the mood I'm in.
Okay.
I don't know if movie. Dang it.
Some of these are nuanced.
Yeah,
I know.
movie.
Okay. Travel or stay at home? I know it depends on the time. It really does.
It is nice to travel. We'll say travel.
Okay. Drive or fly?
Oh, drive, dude. I don't like flying.
Sweet or salty?
Salty, baby.
Host or be a guest?
Guest.
Date night or double date? So like just you and the girlfriend?
Just date night.
Just you two, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Ranch or barbecue sauce?
Ranch, baby.
Oh, really?
Woo! or sour cream.
Pickles or relish?
Neither.
Cracker Barrel or Waffle House?
Probably Waffle House. I don't think I've ever been to either one though.
You can't give an answer.
Well, I don't know, man.
So
Waffle House
they're
sounds
both
better.
like more southern
Yeah,
restaurants.
I feel like I would fit into a Waffle House better.
Okay,
I'll
the
say
next
that.
time you're traveling south and you start seeing Cracker Barrels, or I think there's a Cracker Barrel up north when you get close to the cities. But yeah, that's gonna be a good one. Cake or pie?
Probably cake.
Chicken or beef?
Oh, beef.
Fast car or big truck?
Fast car.
Okay, I knew that one. Weights or cardio?
Oh, we'll go weights.
Gum or mints?
Gum.
Shower at morning or at night?
Both. I do both.
I
gotta shower to wake myself up so I don't look like a zombie.
Okay.
And then by the time I'm done with like work and or like lifting and like striking, I'm disgusting.
Yeah, there's no crawling into the bed.
I'm a
dirty.
disgusting human being.
For those of you out there who go to bed thinking, "Oh, I'm going to shower in the morning," that means your bed is always dirty.
If you're
That's
clean
gross.
by the end of your day, you're not doing something right.
Right. What is up with that? That's going to be a new topic. What is up with people showering in the morning only? That's okay. Somebody come on the podcast and explain it to me, or send me an email for once. Let's see. Last one. I think it's the last one. Over or under when it comes to paper towels and toilet paper? When you put them on the roll? Now this one causes controversy.
This is a good one. I'm gonna say over. I like over.
You're my guy.
Yeah, I
You're
like
my
over.
guy.
Because if it's under, it's like I feel like it's I don't know.
You gotta
I don't
reach for it. You can't see it. I'm just
I don't know
saying.
if this is appropriate, but there used to be. Oh my god, it's in the realm of toiletries, I guess. But there used to be this debate when we were in high school about how you wipe.
Okay.
Some people wipe front to back, and then some wipe back to front.
I'm not gonna touch this.
Dude, we used to. It used to be like a huge controversy.
High school boys will talk about anything.
Dude, when we were in high school, we were idiots.
Yep. I'm not gonna
all
touch
of
it.
us.
We'll have a discussion about that off the mics because I got something about being raised in a single parent household that it's weird. But all right, getting to know you segment. We're moving on before I get in trouble. Getting to know you segment. You picked if you could meet anyone in the world, who would it be?
Oh, definitely. Let me find my notes here.
And this could be, anyone alive, dead. I think I've worded it multiple ways or whatever. And for some people, it's more than one. They just couldn't narrow it down.
Well, anyway, definitely Dustin Poirier.
Yes.
Robbie Lawler. Maybe Mark Wahlberg. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about him because I see him now and I'm like, dude, you're such a poser.
Oh.
I don't know. I used to love the guy. But
he used to be a tough guy.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's kind of not a good guy back in the day. But,
yeah, he was. He was rough.
I don't know. Sometimes he just tries to like oversell his like religion almost. Like he almost like
okay.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
He almost seems like he's doing it to like just show face, not actually like you know
dude,
what I mean?
I'm preaching on that
That's
tomorrow.
What I mean. I don't like
why
that.
we do what we do
Exactly.
and how God doesn't want our superficial acts.
That's what I mean.
He wants our heart. If it ain't real in here, he don't want it.
Yeah, I don't like people when they're fake about just whoever they are. It's like be who you are. The rest will fall into place.
Yeah. Okay. If you had $1 billion, what would you do with it?
Definitely either pay off my house. I would probably get a couple cars, either build a house, set my mom up, set the rest of my family up, probably invest some of it, and then donate. I'd probably donate a good chunk to the Wapsie Valley School District.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to say to the What Is Up podcast.
To the What Is Up, yeah. We'll get by the studio.
You said to the school district.
Yeah.
That's good. That's probably better.
If I ever become that big, we'll get you a legit studio.
Dude. I would be happy if someone signed us and we could reach thousands of people. That would be fine. I want more of a following.
Give it time, brother. Give it time.
Platform. But I would take just a car. Just hook.
Well, that too. The What Is Up vehicle, bro.
Turbo my Eclipse, and we'll be good.
We'll get you the What Is Up WRX or something.
There we go. I like it. Okay. Favorite movies or books? Quick rundown.
Well, obviously Memento, Tommy Boy, dude, Lone Survivor, super good.
Oh yeah. Did you know Marcus Luttrell is like a congressman now?
No, he's not really.
Yeah,
wow.
You want to see? I saw him. He caught in the congressional baseball game, and I was like, "That's Marcus Luttrell."
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yep, ran for office in Texas and won.
Dude, he's the most Texas human being alive too. That dude is, and what a story he has.
Yeah,
bro.
if you guys
sometimes
haven't...
I think about what I've been through. And I'm like, dude, that guy has been through I feel like a baby some
You
days.
knew he knew he wasn't making it out of there. How did he make it out? It's crazy. Read the book, watch the movie. He's a motivational speaker. Awesome guy. Lone survivor, the story of Marcus Luttrell. Awesome. Okay, do you have any more?
We can move on.
Okay. Favorite Christmas movies. I like this. It's July. It's like sweltering heat outside.
Yeah, weird. Probably Home Alone, definitely a good one. Solid. The originals, not like the weird ones. And then I know this is like controversy running on now, but
in my house it is.
Yeah. Those, and then Christmas Vacation, that we always watch that every year.
Heck yeah.
During our Christmas, so
nice.
Super good.
Yeah, that's a strong list right there.
Oh yeah.
Favorite song or workout song, pump up song, however I had it worded.
I mean, AC/DC goes hard. Like a lot of the AC/DC songs, like, you know, Back in Black, Hell's Bells is solid. I walked out to Hell's Bells.
Thunderstruck.
Oh yeah, Thunderstruck. Like Ride the Lightning, that whole album.
Yeah.
Super solid. Like Metallica. This is a Dustin Poirier thing, but The Boss by James Brown. That song gets me so hyped. It's like a funky song, but dude, it gets me so hyped. Let It Rock. That was like in my last fight. I don't know if you've ever heard Let It Rock, but it's like anyone who played Madden in like the early 2000s, like 2012, 2013, probably know what I'm talking about. But that song was always on there, and it just gets me hyped.
Okay.
And then Down with the Sickness, that was the first song, like on my first fight, that's the song I walked out to, and like that song just gets me hyped too. Like every time I'd lift like heavy weight, I would listen to that and just go nuts. But
nice.
And then obviously Eminem, we were talking about that earlier, but
yeah.
Eminem's obviously got a new album out, super good.
Okay.
But
last thing you listen to on your phone?
Eminem, it's
there it is.
What's it called? Guilty Conscience 2, very good song.
Okay. Dream job, worst job?
Ooh, obviously dream job, professional MMA fighter or Muay Thai. I mean, I just like striking, like the grappling's whatever, but definitely either a professional fighter or, I don't know, influencer. Like obviously there's obviously easier ways to make a living, because like getting punched in the face for money.
That's very blue collar, man.
Yeah, that's for now. And then worst job. Oh man, probably it's between when I was in high school. I used to work at like a cattle ranch, not a cattle ranch. It's like right by my house. Just basically like would scrape the cow and like that sucked. Or the grain bins, like that sucked just because it was so hot every day. Like
yeah.
That's pretty taxing on you, especially being like a 16-year-old kid doing all that. But we had a good group though for the most part. I loved mostly everyone I worked with. So
yeah, that was some good conversation in part one about that kind of thing. That's why you could miss the morning lift and show up and still be an animal
for real.
That's it. Coach Foster learned that. Tony Foster learned that.
All love for him too. I talked to Tony the other day. He's like, "Congrats on." Fighting, like I have no animosity, like that just pushed me. Like,
no, he's a good guy.
No, I love Tony.
He's a good guy.
Like one time, one of the mottos I used to live by too, and you know, pardon my language, this is just a quote from Tony, but life's a bitch and then you die, and I was like, yeah, I guess so.
Wow, Coach Foster, I'm gonna have to speak some words of wisdom of that. Had
dude,
something
he was,
to it. Don't
he
just
was a
leave
tough
it there.
mofo back in the day too.
Oh, I'm sure. I heard him yell at a halftime of a game.
Oh yeah.
One year that I was like, oh my goodness,
dude. I know. Wow. I love him though.
Wow.
He would get me going.
Good. That's his job.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. First car, worst car.
So this is, I mean, my first car, technically, I didn't buy it, but it was I don't know if it was a Grand Prix or my mom's old Tahoe. It was, honestly, the Grand Prix was pretty sick. It was like fairly quick until my sister, she like crashed it. She says that there was some deer in the road, and then I think she was on her phone, but it was on a gravel road, and then she messed something up in the transmission. She blew the line that actually feeds the transmission fluid to the actual transmission into the radiator, or not the radiator, but like the transmission cooler.
The cooler, yeah.
So she like called me, she's like, the car's acting weird, and then like she kind of like ruined the transmission, so it would shift super hard, and eventually my dad ruined it, but that was probably my first car, I think. Between that or like my mom's old Tahoe, which is like a 2008. Dude,
Okay.
honestly, I loved both those cars, but the first car I bought was a 2002 WRX from a guy in Reedland. I bought it with the clutch out. I dropped the transmission, put a whole bunch of, did all the brakes, rotors and pads, bled everything, put a brand new clutch in it. I literally did everything. New shifter bushings, all that. Drove that, and I loved that car, but like, to be honest, that thing was a pile of crap. Like, it was so loud, and it was way too much car for me. Like, it was so fast, dude.
Oh yeah,
like,
you told me about that.
I remember the first time hitting boost, dude. I was giggling like a schoolgirl, but it was a fun car nonetheless.
Yeah.
But we'll get into what happened to that car
Sure.
shortly. But I loved it. It had a huge wing that was ridiculous.
They all did back then.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite restaurant?
Oh, for sure, Costas.
Yeah.
Especially in my like lifting days, dude, I'd eat there. I'd get like 2 burgers, and I was insane, dude. But I love their food. They actually sponsored me. Well, kind of sponsored me in a fight, but
shout out to the local restaurant in Fairbank, Costas.
Dude, Benny. I love Benny, bro.
All right.
And his house. His house is so cool.
Oh,
sweet.
wow.
But anyway, yeah.
Okay. Last meal. If you're on death row, you get one meal. What's it going to be?
I kind of had a joke about this. I'd said a cake with like a shovel or something in it. Because, dude,
you want out of it.
Yeah, I ain't trying to do that. But, I don't know. Besides that, probably Costas, man.
Okay.
I love Costas.
Wow. He put the two together.
Dude,
favorite
so
restaurant, last meal. Same thing. Okay. Favorite sports teams and athletes?
So, definitely the Steelers, like, NFL-wise, I've been a Steelers fan. Like, when I was younger, dude, they were the team. Like, they were messing everybody up. Obviously, not so much now, but
yeah, they're on the turnaround.
Yeah,
Here we go.
see. We'll see. And then, obviously, dude, go Hawks, Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yes.
And then, like, in terms of football, we kind of talked about this in the first episode, but, dude, I love Barry Sanders.
Yep.
Like, I would watch his highlights before every game. And then Ben Roethlisberger, Troy Polamalu, like that era.
Okay.
Dude, that was Antonio Brown when he wasn't like
crazy.
CTE crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a quick turn for him, man.
Yeah, man.
One day he was normal.
Yeah,
and then
CTE's real, bro. That's a problem with like combat sports and just like contact sports too. It's like, I mean, there is a price to pay for it.
Did you see the movie Concussion?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they showed that to us in school.
Yeah, that's good.
Luckily, I don't think I've actually ever been diagnosed with a concussion.
No?
I don't think so.
All right, that's a good thing.
I don't think I've ever been diagnosed with a concussion.
Okay. Well,
I was trying to mess with you to repeat myself because I was CTE.
Yeah, I'm not picking it up. Okay.
Anyway,
cartoons from your childhood,
dude. Tom and Jerry, love that.
You watched the classics?
Oh yeah, that was always on. That SpongeBob, I still watch SpongeBob here and there. What else, dude? Ed and Eddie. I wrote some of these down.
Yeah, your generation grew up on that
Dude,
Nickelodeon stuff.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that was solid.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. There's so many like good ones growing up.
Yeah,
but
the
now,
classics aren't dying, man.
You look at the new ones, they're insane.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, the stuff from the 90s, 80s and 90s, those cartoons never die. Okay. What's one thing you did this summer?
I went to St. Louis I'm trying to remember when we went, but we went to St. Louis, me and my girlfriend. That was super fun. Had some good Cajun food.
Yeah.
Went in the Arch. I really didn't want to go. I've already been up there, but she's like, "Oh, I want to go." I'm like, "Okay." Yeah, going up there, I was like, "Oh man, like it is a weird thing when you pile in those tiny little pods." Have you been in?
No,
Dude,
I want to.
It's fun, but it's definitely weird. Like you'll fit 5 people in a smaller area than me to you.
I don't get that.
It's insane. But
I've seen pictures. I don't know how they make that work, but cool. All right. Now, don't freak out, audience. This is just one thing. It's who do you like in the race, presidential race. That's it. We're not going super deep right now, so don't turn it off.
Dude, as like a younger kid, we were all like Trump, but like, dude, I like RFK Jr.
Okay.
Bobby, dude, he's just pretty down to earth guy. Like he's not out here like causing a bunch of BS. Like Trump, I think Trump handled like some of the border stuff better. And like, people like, oh, they hate Biden. I don't hate anybody for the most part. Like, he's just too old, man. Like, let the guy live his life.
Yeah.
Like, but I would definitely say obviously I don't think Bobby's going to win, but if I had to vote between Trump and Biden, I'd definitely go Trump.
Okay. Good. See how easy that is, people? Let everyone express their opinions.
Well, everyone gets way too into it. It's like,
they do. They do. They get bent out of shape. But okay, near-death experience.
Okay, I got a few for this.
Oh boy.
So going back to that 2002 WRX that I bought, did all the work to. I blew a tire the day of or whatever, replaced it, and I just want to go out for a cruise. Ended up, I was going 60 miles an hour. Someone had hit a deer, left it in the middle of the road, and it had just rained. I swerved to miss the deer, and then ended up going into the ditch, rolled it 6.5 times, landed upside down. My phone was dead, so I had to run like a mile to the next house.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the Mayfields over in Sumner. It was his place right over there, and I knocked on the door, and he like walked out in his underwear.
Typical old farmer.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey, well, he actually owns like a landscaping company, but I'm like, hey, can I borrow a phone? I just rolled my car like, however far back. He's like, yeah. And they closed the door and like left me for another 5 minutes. And luckily, I was fine. Got a hold of my parents. My dad actually came and got me and like was screaming at me. Like, he was like, oh, you okay? And he just was like screaming at me. And then on the way back, there was so much crap in his car. Like I had no seat. Like I had nowhere to sit. I couldn't even put a seatbelt on. And he like was on his phone, like went on the shoulder. I'm like, dude, can you like I just almost died. Like, just focus on driving. Get me home. I don't want to die after almost dying.
Wow.
There was that. And then obviously like when me and my dad got into our thing, that was pretty close to dying. I don't know what people's things are with knives, but I about got into a altercation with like 3 other dudes. There was 3 of them and 1 of me, and I about got in a fight with them. Right before kind of stuff started happening, like actually going down, one of them pulled a knife on me. He's like, "Oh, you better leave him. Like, are you gonna really stab me?" Like, no, you're.
Wow.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but. Yeah.
Not cool.
No.
I don't care. 3-on-1.
I'm sure. I think there's probably more. I always forget, but
3-on-1 without knives, I still take you. That's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't very happy about that. I'm like, you guys, you're all lucky. Well, they were on motorcycles too. Like they all had helmets on. I'm like, you guys are still in trouble, dude. I was a wild man before. Like I actually got into fighting. Calm me down a little bit.
Well, yeah, because then there's the rage factor.
Yeah, I was insane,
when you get into
dude.
fighting, you learn discipline.
Yeah, I was a maniac.
Right. All right. Past injury.
So I think I've broken both my hands.
Shout out, what's his name? Brandon Brown?
Brendan Brown. Dude, that hurts so bad. But yeah. So I think I broke both my hands. I've dislocated my toes just from like kicking. Like say you kick a shin like with your toe or something.
Yep.
Like I've done that to both my toes. Like they're super crooked. I've cracked my skull open, broken my nose twice. Oh, obviously my orbital bone, orbital floor is it's in like 5 pieces, and there's just a huge piece floating around in my skull. So there's that. I think I tore a ligament in my wrist, but that's all healed up. So
okay.
I'm sure there's more, but I forget.
Right. When the list gets that long, you lose a few.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And then we had one more here. If you can play an instrument, what would it be? And you say you actually can play an instrument? Or
Oh, no. Well, I did band when I was like...
that doesn't count.
No. I thought I could play saxophone. I think I would like to learn how to play guitar. Like,
okay.
I can kind of play, but it's like very, very basic stuff.
Oh, that's what you meant. After the injury, you thought about getting a guitar to kind of keep your mind occupied.
Yeah, just to like have something to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like
guitar.
me and my cousin, like he can actually shred pretty hard. But shout out Brady. But no,
nice.
Sometimes we'd be in the basement just messing around. But I can't like play like a whole song. Like I can do like something very basic. But yeah,
I gotcha. Okay. Hidden talent that we don't know about.
I was debating bringing this up. I'm pretty good at impressions and like even singing, but my mom always tries to get me to do it in front of people, and I'm like, you're embarrassing me. So stop.
Yeah, once you get past the age of 10,
it's like then they're like, this guy's a freaking weirdo.
Yeah, at 10 it's cute. 10 and under it's cute.
Yeah,
you get older now, it's like this kid's weirdo.
Something's wrong with this.
Yeah. Come on, mom. Okay. One thing you've changed your mind about. Did you have something for that? Or no?
So yeah, kind of like I remember like, and this is maybe I was kind of brainwashed by my dad, but like I just didn't like cops, and like I would always get pulled over. I think we had it had to have been near the hundreds. I don't know, maybe not that quite high, but I mean, like I remember I'd get pulled over like at least once a week. Like it was insane. It was when I had that Grand Prix. Like, there's always something, like a light might be out, or
yeah.
like I always got pulled over, and I'm just like, dude, I'm over this. Like, even when I first got that one Subaru, I got pulled over like by a state trooper in Waverly at 12:20 or 12:25, like right before curfew.
Okay.
And I was pulling into Quick Start quick, and just to get something to drink before I was going to my girlfriend's house. And as I pulled into Quick Start, and he pulled in right after me. And right as I got out, he flipped his lights on and like went on his microphone. He's like, "Get in the vehicle." And I'm like, "Oh, great." So I had to sit. He's like, "What are you getting out for?" And I'm like, "I was gonna get something to drink." And yeah, like I had to go in the cop car and sit, and like they thought the car was stolen. And
Oh my goodness.
it was dumb, dude. But I, honestly, like I've totally changed. Like I was just obviously like when you're a kid, you're an ignorant kid, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But now I totally like, dude. It's such a hard job, dude.
Yes,
like I couldn't
it is.
imagine like that's really life or death compared to like
Yep.
you get some BS job that's like no. Like I have a buddy who's a cop, Trayton Kaufman, shout out. I messaged him when he got sworn in or whatever you want to call it. I was like, it really does take a special person to do that, because I mean it's a dangerous job. It's not like a normal job where you're not really risking anything. Like you're putting your life on the line for others, and it is a hard job. So
Yeah, they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know who's in the car. You might think it's
real,
normal and routine, but
that's what I mean. You never know.
you don't. So
yeah,
shout out to law enforcement who do it right for
yeah.
sure. Okay. All right, we're there. We're crossing the hour mark, so we're going to go a little long on this one too, but we're going to get to these. And we got some are a little lighter, some are a little, well, one is a little lighter. The rest are pretty good, pretty serious ones he wanted to talk about. So we're just going to quickly start with the light one. Aliens. This is 2 guests in a row that chose aliens. We went, no one ever took it. What is up with aliens? What is your opinion?
I definitely think there's aliens out. Like, if it's infinite, like they say it, or it's constantly growing, or whatever their thing is, like, there's no way that we're the only people, like, whether it's like a single cell organism. Like, there's definitely something else out there we just don't. Well, didn't they? I thought they on Congress or something said they. Or maybe it was jury. Or not
no,
jury,
you
but
and
like
me were talking about. You saw the same that I saw.
Yeah.
I'll try and find that clip and insert it if we have time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
They basically admitted they had non-human biologics or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something out there.
Aircraft, unidentified aerial phenomena is what they call UFOs now.
Yeah.
They had retrieved one of those, and inside it, the pilot was a non-human biologic.
That's it.
What the heck does that mean? Like,
Well,
let us know.
Well, now like it didn't get covered. It like kind of was up for like a little bit, but it wasn't like you'd think that'd be just instant. Everyone would be freaking
Leah
out about
Schneider
it.
said, well, that happened during 2020
it
or
kinda got
2021.
washed
so
away.
So yeah, there's. I used to never think about this. I used to think people were weird about it, but now it's like, wait a minute. There's too many videos out there of like our military personnel, our pilots, of seeing these things that are maneuvering at rates of speed we just can't explain. That outmaneuver our fighter jets. Come on. It is crazy. So the jury's out. I'm not going to look at you sideways, anybody, for what you believe on aliens. So
a few questions for Mr. Favor. As an expert naval aviator, have you ever seen an object that looked and moved like the Tic Tac UAP?
No.
Did the Tic Tac UAP move in such a way that defied the laws of physics?
The way we understand them, yes.
Many dismiss UAP reports as classified weapons testing by our own government, but in your experience as a pilot, does our government typically test advanced weapon systems right next to multi-million-dollar jets without informing our pilots?
No, we have test ranges for that.
It took over 15 years for your encounter with the Tic Tac to be declassified. Do you feel there was a good reason to prevent lawmakers from having access to this footage?
No, I just think it was ignored when it happened, and it just sat somewhere in a file. Never got reported.
In a drawer. It happens a lot up here. Shocker. Okay. You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you had some social media advice. We had a What Is Up segment that says social media and its effect on mental health, but you said, I just got some social media advice. You got a one-liner that I thought was awesome.
Yeah, I kind of came up with this myself. I always forget. I wrote it down just because...
you need to trademark it because it's good. It's really good.
Oh my gosh, where'd I write it down?
Or when you go and speak to a group of kids, you need to definitely lead with
Here we
this
go.
or close with it.
I said, don't compare yourself, inspire yourself. So, like, a lot of the stuff on my social media is, like, stuff that I get inspired by, not just, like, because some of this, there's so much doom and gloom. Like, you can't look at that because if you do, like, obviously you're going to be down about the way the world is. But, like, everything that's on my social media for the most part is, like, something that I can be inspired by and, like, see, like, show myself or, like, see that I'm like, you know what, I can push through this or just to give me a better perspective or outlook on like what's going on.
Sure. Focus on the positive. I send stuff to our group chats all the time, daily. Just certain guys that I follow that say true statements.
Yeah.
True statements that can help keep you grounded and focused, maybe inspire you to keep making the right choices.
Yeah.
I love getting that stuff daily. I love it. It's great. Don't compare yourself. Inspire yourself. Wow. Brock Beesecker, the poet. I like it.
That's right.
Okay. Another one was I had a big What Is Up segment revolving around this this case that happened right here in Iowa. Emily Donlin and her case with the Iowa DHS. She had tested positive after giving birth. I think it was like in the umbilical cord or whatever. They found traces of cocaine or something like that, and she was totally perplexed. And she went through all these hoops of trying to say, no, I've never done any drugs, all this stuff. And we were talking about, how it is to battle against a DHS, Department of, is it Health and Human Services or something like that?
I think it's Department of Human Services.
Okay, Department of Human Services.
I can't remember.
Like, she couldn't legally get the legal system involved. Like, you have to go against the DHS.
Yeah,
and
that's
they
the
still
weird
make
thing,
the
because it's not really a criminal thing. It's like a civil thing. So it's a whole different thing. But they almost need to have they need to have someone who's like a third party, like
an arbiter, or something.
Like judge it or what? Not judge it, but you get what I'm saying. Because obviously, being in DHS, like they're gonna be
biased towards their own position.
Yeah, I mean that's their thing, and like DHS is so hit or miss. Sometimes they're right on the money, and then other times it's just like they're almost just wasting other people's time. It's like but I mean, and we've had to deal with it. It's just like they get annoying to deal with. And maybe that's just because I was a kid, but.
Their job is to look out for the kids and all that.
And it is a hard job too. Like it's just a hard thing for everybody kind of involved.
Yeah. See, and I like that. I'd rather hear from you with specific experience from it than, just for any of you who don't know, just go ahead and look it up. The Emily Donlin case. See just what she did to try and prove she's a good mom, no drugs, all that. And it was a struggle. And I believe it ended up, she got her kid, all that's all good, but she's now on like a child endangerment list or something for 5 years, and she's got to battle that to get that removed.
That's dumb.
I know. So look it up. See what you think. Get educated on it. Okay, let's move into the last two. Something that had caught my eye was this Quiet on Set documentary.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be more like if you're 5-10 years younger than me, these would have been the shows on Nickelodeon that you grew up watching, and there was some crazy stuff going on. So what did you see in this documentary?
Well, it's like it basically showed like all the inappropriate stuff going on like behind the scenes, and like even in like the stuff that aired, it's like it's pretty like not graphic per se, at least the stuff that aired, but it's definitely like kind of seems sexual like now that you look back on it.
Yes.
And then like the whole Dan Schneider thing, like dude, just a bunch of creeps like in and around children all the time, like and then like Drake Bell's thing, like that's horrible. Like I don't know if you watched it or not, but it's like
I saw his part.
Like the fact that people like that are allowed to be around kids, like that's kind of the reality of what Hollywood really is. It's like you can go as far back as whatever, and like there's always that story or that like theme of like the child actor, and then they just it's like
advantage.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like it's no wonder like they all have so many problems. Like I mean, they grow up around that stuff, and then they're kind of once they're kind of chewed up and spit out, there's no one there to help them or guide them.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what they expect, but
yeah. I saw a lot of clips. A lot of the people that I follow or listen to their podcast stuff, they were chopping it up and showing you clips and hits and things, and yeah, a lot of the content was like, oh my goodness, that was underlying sexual jokes.
Oh, for sure.
And like, yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's why they're messed up. But Matt Walsh made a good point. He was like, where's the parents?
Well, and that's part of it too. They like in the documentary, like they would almost keep the parents away. Like
not my kids.
That's what I mean. Like, dude, I would do some horrible stuff if anything ever. Like, I don't have kids, obviously, but
dude, yeah, it's your God-given right to protect your kids.
Yeah.
You're not right. Responsibility. Yeah. You don't turn them over to somebody for 8 hours a day, whatever it is. Like, that's messed up. But yeah, some really creepy stuff came out. So guys, check that out. See what you think. See if you agree with Brock on that. It's messed up how they tried to put some perversion in there. And then at least they still did air the actual allegations and moments of sexual abuse.
Yeah.
And, like, it happened. This isn't just...
No, it's confirmed. Like, even like the Drake Bell thing, like he told his story and all that. Yeah,
that's bad. Okay, this is the last one. We kind of are combining all three here. You wanted to talk about these. No one's really tackled them, I guess. We've talked about different things. I've talked about different things. But we're going to combine the whole thing about Drag Queen Story Hour, so-called family-friendly pride events, and minor attracted persons. And now you can, obviously, if you know anything about those three, they're all interconnected. So what is up with that? What do you think?
Dude, I just think it's insanity. It's just weird to like let your kids be around stuff like that. Like like the whole drag queen thing. Like these are like, I just don't get why they're trying to like push that on kids.
Sure.
Like when they're super young. Like I saw like an article about it. I'm like, that's insanity. Like we're living in an alternate reality. Like it's almost hard to believe this stuff's going on.
It is. Some people would say it's not. What would you say to those people who say, I don't even know what you're talking about?
Well, I mean,
I've never seen a video. I've never read an article.
It's obviously not very common around here, but like in the bigger cities, like it's pretty common, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like even like some of the pride parades, like some, like I get some of it, like do your thing, do your life, but like some of them are walking around like completely naked with, you know, whatever hanging out. And it's like, dude, there's kids around. Like at a certain point, it's like you got to stop being like just insane. Like there's got to be a come to Jesus moment. I don't know.
I
like
go with
just,
that.
Yeah, just common sense. Like this is not.
It's not appropriate.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, some of it you don't even understand. Like they wear dog masks sometimes in these parades.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, like even like the minor attracted person. Like no, that like I don't understand where like they're supposed to like preach or not preach, but like they're supposed to be like, oh, we consider everyone, or like not consider, but like they don't want to offend anyone. It's like this is someone who's literally like a pedophile.
Yes, that's what we used to call them.
Yeah, that's what it is. There's no other. I mean, the whole minor attract. That's insanity.
Yeah, it's like you're kind of making an out for that, saying this is just a condition now.
So you're just letting. That's what I mean. Like, are you just gonna let it happen then? Like, no.
Not just let it happen. Like we now need to accept it.
Yeah,
and normalize
that's
it.
insane.
No, that's not. Those people need some help. They need some treatment. Whatever it is, and that's why we have lists and registries and stuff like that. So you protect kids. We have to protect kids. And I think you're onto something when you say, why is it that you know it's happening where the drag queen comes to a library and reads books? It's to normalize it, get them used to it. But if Kirk Cameron wants to come and read one of his books on like Christian values, there's pushback. It's hard.
And like the whole religion thing, like everyone gets so up in arms about who believes what or what. It's like I don't know. People can believe whatever they want, but it's like at some point, like common sense just has to stick in, and it's like this is not like you shouldn't be pushing this on little kids who don't know like anything. Like they're just you're not indoctrinating them, but
no, I know what you
mean.
mean.
You know what I mean? Like they don't know what's normal, what's not. Like it's insane.
Yeah, I saw a video recently. It was a mom and with her kids, and it was like a celebration video. She's like, I got 4 kids. Every one of them is either gay, transgender, non-binary, or
I don't even know what half that means.
And it's like, Do you think that's the normal rates of some of this stuff? It's not.
Well, like I don't, and why they're celebrating it too is kind of interesting as well.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. We're in a weird world right now.
I'm with you. I say common sense. Let the common sense. But I think our problem is common sense is we're seeing it. It's
not common.
Right. It's big. If the majority of people think something is normal, that's now normal. And if you disagree with that, you're not in the norm. That's not the commonsensical thing. So where's your standard?
Well, and like even like not to dip too far off, but like the whole like transgender thing in sports. Like I just saw a thing about like because usually it's men going into women's sports,
right?
And they like obviously they're gonna usually dominate just because like you're a male body or whatever. But there was a female that went into a male sport. It was a female boxer went into a male but she became a man, and got knocked out in like 20 seconds.
Oh,
and then she said he or she said that they were deeply disappointed. And I'm like, well, that's the reality of just biology. It's like,
yeah.
But
I agree 100%. So for the audience out there, you need to know where you stand on that kind of stuff. I mean, you need to be aware of the issues. Don't take this stay in your lane approach. This is just the way of the world right now. Everyone needs to know what's going on and have, their stance. There's nothing wrong with it. And you can express that right here on the What Is Up podcast. if you're willing to come down and talk about some of this stuff like Brock was. So Brock, you got anything else you want to share with anybody, man? We're at the end. I'm going to close it out. If you got,
I don't think so. I think that's about it. Just like I said, shout out my family.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just kind of I don't know, be good to yourself. I know there's a lot going on, but at the end of the day, you gotta sometimes you just gotta block out all the noise and worry about yourself, and
there you go.
Get yourself right before you gotta deal with other stuff.
Yeah,
so.
You can't take everything on. Get
for real.
Things right upstairs for sure. I like it. Well, if you guys are just catching this part 2, he's obviously saying that stuff from a state of mind, considering what we talked about in part 1. So you definitely need to go back and listen to that. That's probably one of the most encouraging episodes we've ever done. So go back and listen to that for sure. I want to thank you again, buddy, for coming on.
I'm glad I could come.
You're the man. We finally made it happen.
Yeah, this has been months in the making. I've been so busy,
ask me,
and then
I had somebody ask me last week. They're like, "You gonna have that kid that does the fighting? You gonna?" And I was like, "Who are you? When did I say that?" I go, "Yeah, you said that like 2 months ago." I was like, "Yeah, we're working it out, man." This one's been
then like we were good. We had a date, and then I kind of got sick, so I was like, I don't want to sound weird on the mic, and finally made it happen.
We did it. So I'm sure you encourage a lot of people, man. We had more fun with this episode and then got it more serious there at the end, but I like that.
Well, and like I said, I'm sure I'll be back on, so eventually we can dive deeper.
Take a topic or two, and that's something some of my guests or some of my audience doesn't know. Like if you don't want to come on and share your whole story, maybe you say, "Hey, I'm just passionate about this or that. Can we just do like a What Is Up segment where I come on and just..." Absolutely. I'd love to do that. So we'll be doing some of that stuff in the future. But as we close it out here, I just want to tell the audience, like, have you been looking around lately and been asking, like, what is up with some of this stuff like we talked about at the end? Or for me recently, it was that attack on the Kansas City Chiefs kicker. I hate the Chiefs. I can't stand them. I mean, they're my rival. I'm a Raiders guy. But when Harrison Butker gave that speech at a graduation commencement ceremony at a Catholic college, like, those were the values of those people there, but the world hated his message. And we just had Leah Schneider on, and she kind of spoke to that, saying, yes, he's absolutely right. Like, career is a good thing, but nothing is more fulfilling than being a wife and a mother. That's how God created us. So, but people got up in arms about that speech, and I'm just like, what is up with that? There was nothing really wrong in it. He did call out some other so-called Catholic people for their stances on abortion and things like that, and maybe that's what they got upset about, I guess. But he also challenged people not just to, sit in church, but to be people who want to know God by understanding his word. Don't just sit in there and, put your heart in it. Be like a Brock Beesecker. Go after it. Once you're in it, be in it. Go for it kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But boy, the city of Kansas City posted publicly his home address, so he would most likely get harassed for his comments and his views. And I'm just asking myself, what is up with that? Why would we do that? So what? You disagree with them? Why are we trying to, lead people to his house and so they can harass them. So if you're wondering why somebody would do something like that, that's just, the Bible gives the best answers. We're all a little messed up. We're all going to mess up and do bad things. We've all got selfish motives from time to time. We all have a desire to hurt other people, as weird as that sounds to say. It's true. I think the answers, are right there. They can't be found down here. We got to look up. If you want my opinion, I'd say I'm going to point you to God and his word. He'll truly show you what is up. I've been on both sides of this thing. I wasn't always a Christian, no way. But I still think the Bible gives the best answers for why the world is the way it is and why we are the way we are. It's real simple. None of us are good enough. Okay, Romans 3:23, Romans 6:23. We've all sinned. We all fall short. And the wages of that sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. That's it. Jesus said we must be born again. No matter what you've done in your past or what you're struggling with right now, it's a gift. You don't do anything to earn it. Okay, Paul tells us that in Ephesians chapter 2. You don't earn it. Don't brag about earning it, because you can't. And Jesus says, this is it. It's me or there is no way. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. So if you need more help or you want to know more, you can join me. I'm actually preaching this Sunday at Dunkerton First Baptist Church. We're on Facebook. There's a live stream if you're not in the area. Or you can reach out to me at whatisuppodcast@gmail.com. I will personally share the gospel with you. I'll try and share some truth with you. I'll try and give you some guidance. If you need to talk to Brock about some of that stuff he was talking about and family issues and all that stuff, he wants to help. So you can reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with him. If you see him around town, he says, I won't hold anything back, face-to-face conversation. So ask him, give him some support. Let him know you're thinking about him, praying for him, that he's an encouragement to you. Just approach him if you need to. That's fine. If you haven't figured it out by now, there's absolutely nothing on this earth that we can put our hope in. There is no person. They're all going to let you down. There is no preacher. There is no politician. There's nothing that's going to fulfill you. We got to look up. Okay? So if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube, be sure to follow it. Leave a 5-star. Subscribe to it. Leave a comment for the love of Pete, people. Just leave some comments. Let's get some action going on these things so I got something to talk about. Send me an email. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more info, insights, wisdom, dare I say wisdom, and maybe even some more giveaways. I know you want one of our shirts, okay? You can actually buy one. You don't have to wait to win one. You can buy one. And then share it on your social media with everyone you know. I welcome feedback, questions, comments, even criticism. Just don't be too harsh. I'm kind of a wimp when it comes to that sort of thing. So thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this really encouraged you. Lord willing, I'll talk to you on the next one.